Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Building a Nation with Team Canada. And today we basically have the biggest games of the year. We've got World Cup qualification in North America, and I'll be honest with you, this competition kind of snuck up on me. I was busy doing all kinds of stuff with Vancouver, Champions League and roster management and all that nonsense. And I kind of forgot that World Cup qualifying was this early in the year. I guess it should be, because you need to get ready for the World Cup, which is just 12 months away. So, here is the position. Here's where we're at. Surprisingly, top of our group in the qualification section. 9 points after 4 games. We got 3 wins and a loss, plus 4 goal differential. Mexico's in second place, also surprisingly. After 4 games, they got 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. Now, it wasn't us that gave them that loss, unfortunately, but you know what? We'll take it, because this has put us in prime position to take the group. Now, we do have a game versus Mexico coming up as our final game. It's going to be the deciding game of the group. But first, we have to take care of our game today, which is against Guatemala. Guatemala, as you can see here, has not done too well this year, or in this group. They only have 1 win, 3 losses, total of 3 points. So they're out of contention. They're not going to make the Olympics. It's really come down to Canada and Mexico as to who's going to take that spot. If we go to the qualifying section, you can see Jamaica is already in with 12 points, top of their league. They really dominated their group. No problem there. We looked at Group B, got all kinds of questions here. And then Group C, USA is in a bit of a dogfight with Haiti and Honduras. Curacao with 2 games left is still not out of the question, honestly. There's lots of these teams that are still in question. If they pull off 2 wins in these final 2 games, there's a lot of teams that could still mathematically make it to the Olympics. Now, if you don't win your group, there's one more chance, and that's to be the second best team in your group with the highest point total overall. And currently, we're in the driver's seat for that, because we've got 9 points, and no one else in any group has more than 7. So we've got the highest ceiling currently going into this final pair of games that each team is going to have. So there's still a lot to play for. I'm so nervous, so excited about this. And we had our team selection. Was an okay team selection, not the greatest team selection. We had some injury worries, some depth issues, and we'll get into that in a minute. Now, before we get into that, we do have one piece of very good news. Interesting news, if not necessarily timely news. But this fella here, Fikayo Tomori, playing at Bristol City, he has switched allegiances from the United Kingdom, from England specifically, to Canada. So this is good news. This guy I've been chasing after for a couple of years now. Probably ever since we started this and I saw that he had Canadian heritage. I've been chasing after this kid to get him to change. And finally, he got no youth caps with England. He got a couple of under 23 call-ups, but he was not happy, and we told him that we could make him a prime candidate for our team. We'd make him an important player. And we're going to do that. He's a very interesting, versatile guy. He can play central defense. He can play fullback on the right-hand side, which is a place of need for us. But look at his physicality. He's strong. He's very fast for a fullback, for a central defender, certainly. 15 pace, 16 acceleration. He's the kind of guy who can keep up with some of the small, fast attackers that we face here in North America. Mentally he's pretty good. Technically he needs some improvement, but he's not terrible by any means. He's got a lot of interesting abilities that he can use technically. He's not sort of the traditional tackling monster or, great marking or heading or anything like that, but he's very solid all up and down the board. He doesn't have any real weaknesses other than penalty taking, but we don't really care about that for our central defender. So that's good news. It's not timely news because we could have used this news like a week ago when we chose our squad. That's when I asked him. I was like, hey, I want to call you up. And he's like, I got to think about it. I got to talk to basically England. He was going to, he said I had to talk to all the parties involved, which basically he must have went to the English coach and said, hey, are you going to call me up? And when he said no, Tomori decided to switch to Canada just a week late. So if we make it to the World Cup, he'll be on the squad. But for now, not so much. All right, so let's move on. Let's check out the matches for today. Let me see if we can get there. There we go. So some interesting matches. Panama, Jamaica, is not really a lot going on there because Jamaica has already moved through. Same with Trinidad and El Salvador. They're just battling for points at this point, just trying to see if any of them can catch up to our potential points or whoever finishes in second place in Group B, honestly, because that's either going to be us or Mexico most likely. But this is a huge match here, Mexico versus Costa Rica. That's a grudge match of sorts between those two nations. They play each other all the time in these North American qualifying and what have you, so they've got quite a history, Mexico and Costa Rica. We're playing Guatemala. A win here, coupled with a Mexican loss, assures us the group. So this will be a very, very interesting day of soccer. And then down in Group C, I think it's still kind of wide open. USA versus Curacao, which they're actually playing each other in the Gold Cup tonight. So I'll have to remember to watch that because sometimes when I start recording FM videos, I kind of forget about what's going on in the real world. And then Haiti, Honduras, again, they're fighting for possibly first place in that division. Whoever wins that one is going to definitely have a leg up. So a lot still to play for in these final two games. Got a match preview there. And here we are. Canada versus Guatemala. We're heavy favorites. 2-1. We're currently in first place. We're playing at BMO Field in Toronto. It's not really what you might call Guatemalan weather out there. 37 degrees with sleet and breeze. Unfortunately, BMO Field is not a dome, so I don't think they can close enough doors to make it worth their while. Guatemala. We played them earlier. I'm pretty sure we looked at them, but it's been a while. Take a look at their head coach, Walter Claveri. Good man manager, not real heavy in motivation. He just sort of lets the guys do sort of whatever they feel like doing. But he's good at working with youngsters. He's not what you would call a great coach, but he is their coach nonetheless. Let's get to our team selection. So we're doing the fully rotated side. That's what I've decided to do. Everybody except the goalkeeper is new. So on the bench, we got basically the guys we figure to be our starting lineup against Mexico. Cavallini, Balou, David, Davies, Mark Anthony Kay, coming back from an injury. And we have had some injury issues, namely Jonathan Osorio. He was a huge loss for us in the injury department because we don't really have anybody to replace him. He's really our only attacking playmaker. And unfortunately, we're going to have to figure out what we do to replace him. But anyway, Piet, Cabra, Henry, Giguere, Nana, and Carducci, he's not going to start in goal. I mean, Borjan, or Borjan, as I heard pronounced the other day. We'll get to that too. So that's the reserves. We'll get to the starting lineup here momentarily. Here we are. So we're sticking with the Z formation. We're going to continue to do what we've been doing for the most part here. Borjan in goal, taking the captain's armband today. Lovitz, Daniel Lovitz on the left-hand side. He's played well for Team Canada. He's fit and ready to go because we've been playing him at Vancouver, so no problems there. Dunn, Julian Dunn. He's also been playing for, who's he playing for nowadays? I think he's moved from where he was to one of the Canadian teams. I forget. I mean, we could easily click on him and look, I suppose. Yeah, so he's playing for TFC. Yeah, and he's been getting playing time, so that's what's important. He's fit and he's ready to go. Romeo, guy that we signed up earlier, he's also fit and ready to go. That was another thing that I wanted when I chose this team. Make sure everybody, or as many people as possible, were match fit. Got Broguillard here on the right-hand side. He didn't play too well in his one start. We'll give him another try here. Norman, another one of our players, going to be getting his first start here in the... I believe this is his first start in this competition. I would assume that's why he's got no numbers here. But anyway, Harfield is playing here because I didn't necessarily want him to play against Mexico because he doesn't have the foot speed necessary. That's why I wanted Mark Anthony K to play against Mexico. So it's a little bit of gamesmanship here, but we'll see. Hoylett on the left. Hundle basically taking Osario's position, so he's going to move up to this attacking playmaker. He's been playing that, at least he played that position last year for us at Vancouver. So hopefully he's a little bit familiar with it here. He's played fine, very well actually, in his appearances in this competition. Petrasso getting a call-up. This is his first call-up for the competition as well. Going to be playing on the right-hand side. And Kyle Aaron, look who's back. Kyle Aaron is back in the squad. He's finally playing wherever he's playing at. He's getting some goals. He's still at Besiktas. He's getting some playing time. He's got 8 appearances, 3 goals in the Turkish Super League. So, he's fit. That's all we've asked for from Kyle Aaron, is just get some playing time and be fit. As for Guatemala, they've got Ricardo Jerez in goal. 11 concessions and 7 appearances, so we can score some goals on this guy. Hernandez making his debut at left back. Moises Hernandez, it says he's got 6 appearances, so I don't know why he's also making his debut. You can see why I might be confused. Papa on the left-hand side as well. 7 appearances, 3 goals, 3 assists, 7.5 rating. We have to watch out for this guy. He's playing very well. Galvez also making a debut, even though he's got a goal and an assist and 8 appearances. We haven't played 8 games in this competition, first of all, so I don't know where that's coming from. So I guess we'll believe that he's making his debut. Anyway, Carina up top, 6 appearances, 3 assists. Also a guy we got to look after. And then Juan Osorio making his first appearance. So we've got some interesting players here. We should beat this team. But stranger things have happened. So we have to take care of our P's and Q's here. Most of all, let us take a look at Papa. Make sure that we're doing everything we can to stop him. Salisbury. Okay, everybody else looking good. Not the best weather out there for soccer. Yes, my players can adapt to any situation. You come in good form while your opponents do not. I don't have any concerns about that. We're prepared. Get out of here. Sprung a few surprises. Some players will play here, others will play future. How pleased are you that Tamori has decided to switch? I mean, I'm absolutely delighted. I couldn't stress enough how delighted I am. So here we are, BMO Field. Sleet, rain, snow, all coming down. These poor Guatemalan souls, not used to it. Here we go, first highlight, a minute in. Lovitz gets a throw into Hundle. Hoylett is our one guy who's not really match fit currently. Uh-oh, here we go. Look out, Guatemala on the counterattack, perhaps. I don't know, they're penned in here. This could be a mistake. Nope, they get it to Papa. We're supposed to be covering that guy. Look at him go. This is bad news. He takes a long shot. We need to cover this guy. He's their main man. Cannot let Papa get the ball. Look at that. 16 dribbling, 16 flair. 33 years old. He's kind of fallen off a little bit physically. But he's still really good everywhere else. And a player like that can change the course of a game, if it's the right kind of game. If it's not like an up and down, run around, everybody out racing him. If he's got time and space that he needs, he can make the plays. So hopefully we can mark him a little bit better than that. Let's go. 22 minutes. They've got possession on us, just barely. We've got a lot of shots, but not a lot on target. Here we go. Hoylett sends one across. Yes. Romeo, the big central defender. Another big acquisition for Vancouver this year. Called up to the national team, and that wasn't a header. They left him wide open. Look at him. There's just nobody near him. In between the two lines of defense. We get our first goal. There we go, boys. Now I can breathe a little bit. Now I can feel a little bit better about where we're at. I had a little rant about the Canadian national team the other day. Hopefully that made it to air. I don't know. Still deciding at this point whether it will or not. But we're going to try not to fall into those same mistakes. We're going to try not to get too lackadaisical about playing a team we should beat. Okay, quietness. Moment of silence, I guess, is what that was. Kyle Laren not playing too well. 6.4 rating. What are we at here? Oh, we're only on key highlights. We should probably extend those highlights. Tactics. What are we doing tactics-wise? All right, let's go positive and slow things down. Yeah, I think that's fine. Standard tempo, work the ball in the box. What can Kyle Laren do? Poacher? Sure. We'll make him a poacher just so he can take advantage of those balls getting worked into the box. Everybody else, I think, is okay. We can move Broguillard up into support, I think, so he can be part of the possession, because that's what we really want to do. We want to possess the ball in the second half. So dressing room. Guard against complacency. Okay, Borjan looks stressed, so we'll calm him down, hopefully. Very happy with your performance. No, he's still stressed. Okay. Okay, let's start the second half. Are there any other tactics I probably should have looked at? For example, in transition, still counter-pressing, out of position. We'll dial it back a little. I don't know how much of a counterattack threat they pose. I mean, we saw that one run from Papa. He's not the speediest guy in the world, so I don't know that he can really beat us one-on-one like that, just trying to outrace the defense. You never know what some of these other guys might have in store. Sario, he's also not the speediest of guys. Carena, how about you? Not so much. So maybe we don't need to drop back against these guys, but better safe than sorry, I suppose. Harfield's got a yellow card. I think we've got a lot of guys with yellow cards, so he could get suspended here. He's booked. We'll tell him to ease off tackles. And I think more than that, we will make a sub at the 60-minute point and take him out. So let's move Norman up and bring in Piet. Not ideal, because I'd like to save Piet for the next game, but we actually have a couple days rest between the next game. I'm paranoid because of MLS right now. MLS, the fixture congestion is just out of control, so I figure like every game is 1 day away. It seems like. So the fact that we've got 2 or 3 days to rest is like, oh my God, it's a luxury. But currently, here we go. Borjan. So they had a new announcer. Norman wins the header. Hundel, Piet, Hoylett, wide open, lots of space. He centers it. There's Norman with the shot. And that goes in, oddly. Looks like Jerez sort of deflected it into his own goal. That was weird. It like accelerated after it hit the goalkeeper. So moving Norman up to central midfield from defensive midfielder. Got him a little shot on goal, and there it is. Yep, took a major deflection off Jerez and in. So they had a new announcer for the Gold Cup game, and he was pronouncing our goalkeeper's name Borjan, which I don't know. I mean, it makes some sort of sense. He does play in Eastern Europe, and usually they pronounce their J's as Y's over there. 75 minutes. Here's an attack from Guatemala. There he is. There's our man, Borjan. You know, It's odd with Fox. They've got a lot of different announcers that they use, and some of them, you know, are from their Spanish language broadcasts. Some of them are for their English language broadcasts of the Mexican League. So it's like got a lot of different pronunciations going on for a lot of different names. So sometimes it's hard to keep track of whose name is pronounced in what way. But we're going to keep calling him Borjan because that's how I started, and that's how it just comes out that way. All right, so Hundel is not looking good. He needs a break. So our only option is Hoylett. Move him inside. And then on the left wing, I suppose we can bring in Balut. So our rotation here still isn't perfect. We've still got some missing ingredients to this team, especially when it comes to just our depth overall in certain positions, like our wingers, like attacking playmaker, like fullback, central defense. We just got a lot of guys we're moving in and out and just trying to find the right combination of players. Not just for the starting lineup, but also for the reserves. You know, we need this sort of rotation, and it's kind of difficult sometimes. Okay. So it looks like we're going to win this one. This is good. This is outstanding. If Mexico slips up versus Costa Rica, then we're in. Then that game, all the pressure is taken off that game. Here we go. 30 seconds. So this game just flew by, whether we were on regular highlights or not. Romeo, Norman, just gonna end the game quickly and with no injuries. Get ready for the next game versus Mexico. It's going to be the biggest game we've ever played. We've played a lot of big games, but this one is going to be the biggest. This is going to be for qualification for the World Cup, without a doubt. If we win that game, we're in. If we draw that game, we're most likely also in. So let's go, boys. All right, Romeo gets the player of the game. Look at that. 8.4 rating and a goal. The young central defender. Looking good, looking strong. Yeah. So, you know, I've said that central defense is a place we need to strengthen, and I feel like we're doing that. Year by year, our central defense is looking stronger and stronger with these young players. As long as they can continue to improve and continue to get better, we're going to have a really strong defense by the time 2026 rolls around. Hopefully, by the time 2022 rolls around, we'll also have a pretty good defense. So let's go. All right. Very pleased with the result and pep talk. Now, we're not going to play the Mexican game today. That's, 3-4 days away. But I do want to see the results. Jamaica beats Panama. Mexico draw versus Costa Rica. Is that for real? Is this our life? Canada hammer Guatemala 2-0. Canada qualifies for the World Cup. What happened to Mexico? There is confusion. There is going to be like anger in the streets of Mexico City. What is up with this? Romeo, stellar. Canada. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Competitions. I'm freaking out. All right. We've qualified with 12 points. Mexico's only got 8, right? Even if they beat us in the final game, it doesn't matter to us. It probably matters to them. Take a look at all 3 rounds. So Mexico right now is tied with Haiti for that coveted 4th spot, that play-in spot. How about that? That's crazy. USA looks like they're also on the path to qualification. They are 2 points up in their group. So their final game is definitely meaningful. Take a look at their squad. Bill Hamid in goal. Yedlin, Gonzalez, Cameron Carter-Vickers. This is a much stronger USA team than the one that we played. This team looks a lot better. Tyler Adams, Michael Bradley, Christian Pulisic. Timothy Way has moved his way into the starting lineup. That's a tough tandem right there, Pulisic and Way. And then Sargent and Bobby Wood. That's a pretty good team. You know, that's a USA team that I think can do some damage. Josie Altidore on the bench, Weston McKennie. Yeah, I don't know where all these guys were when we played them. They weren't on the team, that's for sure. They took us lightly, and they paid for it. But there we go. So we're going to play our Mexico game. It's going to be a little anticlimactic, which no one would have ever expected that in a billion years, to say Canada versus Mexico at the final game of the World Cup qualifying would leave Mexico fighting for a chance and Canada having already qualified. Nobody would have thought that. So we'll come back. We'll play that game. Nice, easy, leisurely game. We don't have to worry about it, but we still want to win because Mexico is beating us really badly. So until then, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.